Yesterday, you guys developed a thesis statement and outlined an essay using the Foursquare pre-writing method. Now we're going to take that pre-writing and you are going to work on developing it into a fully written and fully formed essay. So today I want to show you and model how to write a thesis statement and how to write a body paragraph, just so that you can see the writing process and hear my thinking as I walk through it. So you guys have a different prompt than the one I'm going to use today, because I don't want you to be influenced by my thoughts on it, because I want to hear yours. So I'm going to use a different prompt than you guys will be using. So the prompt I'm going to be using in this example is on the screen. It says, write an essay explaining how technology improves our lives. Now remember, we've been talking about how when we're given a prompt, it's super important to pay attention to the angle that they want us to take in our writing. So for this prompt, it's not asking us, does technology improve our life? It's telling us technology improves your life, and that's what you're going to write about. So now I need to think up ideas for examples of how technology has improved our lives. So at this point, if you were writing with this prompt, you would have already come up with some ideas, and I have some of my own. And those are the ideas that you put in your Foursquare pre-writing. And I have my own ideas listed on a sheet of paper in front of me that I'm going to reference as I talk. So I put our little color-coded cue up here. I know that really helps some of you see that, and so and it helps me as I write, just to make sure that I'm going in the right order and I'm getting each of the sections and I'm remembering which each thing is about. So I'm going to also I think I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to copy and paste this down here so that I can keep it in the order and just fill out each section, and then I can delete these titles and make it into one paragraph at the end. But I think it's going to help me make sure that I hit everything that I need to in this paragraph. All right, so for my thesis statement, I know I need to take the side that technology improves our lives, and then I came up with examples that focused on how household tasks can be more efficient or more automated because of technology. So that's what I'm going to focus my examples on, so that I need to include that in my thesis statement. All right, so I have typed my thesis here. It says, changes in technology improves, although that should say improve because changes is plural. Changes in technology improve each generation by making common household tasks more efficient. So I used the word improve here from the prompt. I'd initially written impact, but I realized that impact could still be negative, so I made sure that I focused on the positive and put the word improve there. So changes in technology improve each generation by making common household tasks more efficient. So now the reader knows that I'm going to focus on different household tasks and the technology that has improved it. Now I need to write my topic sentence for my first body paragraph. So the first piece of technology that I want to focus on is the development of the washing machine and dryer. So I need to tie that in somehow. Here's my topic sentence. For example, never mind, I wrote that wrong. Okay, let's try that again. So I jumped ahead to my example. So my topic sentence, technology has been impacting people for centuries and changing their daily routines and tasks. So I'm coming back to technology, I'm coming back to it impacting people for centuries, and I mentioned their routines and tasks. Now I will move on to my example. So I need to include a transition, and then I need to touch on my washer and dryer example. So, for example, the invention of the washing machine and dryer has changed the way we do laundry. So, I kept it general here. I gave a specific example, and now I am going to provide more explanation of my example here. And remember that my explanation should be the longest part of my paragraph. So, here's my explanation that talks through how the washing machine and dryer changes the way we do laundry. Before washers and dryers, people had to manually wash their clothes with a washboard. They had to haul the water to the stove, heat it in a kettle, dump it into the wash tub, and scrub each piece of clothing by hand. Then, when they finished that process, they had to bring their laundry outside and hang each piece of it up on the clothesline. Depending on the weather, they may have had to wait several hours for it to dry. Plus, when drying laundry on a line, the clothes would often have to be ironed. But with the washer and dryer, it only takes a few minutes of direct work for each load. While you wait for a load to finish, you can spend your energy on something else. So I took my example and I talked it out piece by piece. You want to make it as easy as you can for your reader to imagine what you're trying to say. You want to connect every piece of the puzzle together for them. Now, the last thing I have to do for this paragraph is write my concluding idea. So, in conclusion, the mass production of washers and dryers have allowed household tasks to become more efficient than it was for past generations. So, I used a transition phrase here, in conclusion, and then I tied my examples of washers and dryers back to the fact that it makes the task more efficient, which talks about how technology improved that generation in our thesis statement, which addresses our writing prompt. All right, so I kept these colors and each of these headers as a reminder for what I needed to write, but now I'm going to go back and delete each of these headers and combine it into one paragraph, because this isn't how I would want to turn it in or how I would want to write it on a STAR test. So I'm going to go back and delete each of these. And I'll just make it a little bit more cohesive. I just remembered that this was my thesis statement, so I want to keep that separate from my first paragraph. And then remember that each paragraph is always indented, so I'm going to tab over there. And then I'm going to highlight all of this, come up to my highlight button and hit none. And that will make it a little bit more cohesive and put together like a normal paragraph. Now it'll be your turn to take the pre-writing that you did and the brainstorming that you did yesterday for your essay, and you wrote your thesis yesterday, and now you're going to take the outline that you did for your body paragraphs and turn them into actual written paragraphs out by hand.